turning 70 did not feel like an achievement. It felt like an echo. My wife used to love that restaurant. Not for anything extravagant. The lighting was too soft, the chairs slightly uncomfortable, but because it was where we had settled into the rhythm of being older together. Same table near the window. Same quiet jokes about the predictable menu. After she passed, I avoided the place for years. But birthdays have a way of cornering memory. That morning, the silence of the house felt unusually deliberate, as if even the walls expected acknowledgement. So I made a reservation. One person. The hostess greeted me with professional politeness when I arrived. Rain pressed steadily against the glass entrance, the kind that made everything outside look slightly unreal. Reservation name. I gave it. Her fingers moved across the screen, then stopped. A flicker crossed her face, subtle but unmistakable. I'm sorry, sir, those words rarely mean what they appear to mean. There seems to be an issue. With the reservation. With seating. I waited, assuming a technical inconvenience, overbooking, system error, something mundane. Instead, the manager approached. His posture carried that careful blend of courtesy and distance I'd come to recognize in bureaucratic encounters. Sir, he said gently, we won't be able to seat you today. The sentence arrived with unnatural finality. I don't understand. I apologize. For what? He hesitated, which was worse than immediacy. We received a call. The world has certain phrases that instantly rearrange the air. A call. From your daughter. My thoughts stalled. She expressed concerns about your well-being. The rain grew louder, or perhaps my awareness of it did. What kind of concerns? Another hesitation. Mental stability. The words did not land as insult, they landed as disorientation. For a strange moment, I felt compelled to explain myself, to defend my coherence, my right to sit at a table I had occupied dozens of times before. I assure you, I am perfectly capable of ordering dinner. I understand, sir. But he did not. Institutional caution is immune to personal assurances. The decision had already hardened somewhere beyond conversation. Wu must err on the side of care. Care. Such a generous word for exclusion. I stepped back outside. Rain soaked through my coat almost immediately. People passed without noticing, absorbed in umbrellas and evening plans. There is a peculiar invisibility that accompanies public embarrassment. The world continues, politely uninterested. I stood there longer than necessary. Not because I hoped they would reconsider, but because I did not know where else to place the feeling. Humiliation at my age is different. It carries less fire, more weight. A slow sinking awareness that dignity is no longer assumed, it is evaluated, sometimes revoked. You okay? The voice came from beside me. A man stood there holding the hand of a small child tucked beneath a bright yellow umbrella. The child stared at me with open curiosity before being gently guided inside by someone waiting at the door. The man remained. Single father, I assumed. There was a particular exhaustion in his eyes I recognized immediately. I'm fine, I said automatically. He studied my face for a moment, then lowered his voice. They shouldn't have done that. Something in his tone disrupted my practiced composure. You heard. I work here. That surprised me. You do. Kitchen. He shifted slightly, glancing toward the entrance. She called earlier. My chest tightened. My daughter. He nodded. She didn't sound worried. The sentence landed quietly, yet its implication rippled violently. What do you mean? He leaned closer, rain bouncing softly against the umbrella's edge. She asked if you were coming alone. A pause. And whether you might try to access certain financial arrangements. The world did not tilt dramatically. It narrowed. My daughter had always framed her involvement in my affairs as protection. Assistance. Concern for my adjustment to living alone. Small suggestions, small interventions. Documents I didn't bother to read closely. Conversations I didn't question because questioning felt ungrateful. She was very specific, he continued. Specific how? About preventing you from being served alcohol. I almost laughed. Not from amusement, from the absurd clarity of it. alcohol, as if I were some unpredictable liability. She said it was for your safety. Safety again, always safety. Rain blurred the streetlights into soft, shapeless halos. I felt something inside me shift, not anger, not yet, but a slow rearrangement of understanding. Protection, I realized, can sometimes resemble management. Concern can sometimes mask control. Why tell me this? I asked. He shrugged lightly. My father went through something similar. No elaboration, none needed. We stood there in shared silence, two men bound briefly by the strange politics of aging and dependence. Inside, laughter drifted faintly through the glass. Life continuing. Unbothered. For the first time that evening, the humiliation began to transform into something else. Not relief, not vindication, awareness. Power had not been taken from me at the door. It had been quietly redistributed long before I arrived. And dignity, I understood now, would not be restored through confrontation, but through decisions. Small ones. Careful ones. Unavoidable ones. The rain did not stop. But I stepped away from the entrance anyway.